I'm in space.
I know you are, mate. Yeah, we're both in space.
Ladies, gentlemen, and captains of all ages, with Starfield having entered its early access period, a number of people have gotten their hands on it now. A large majority, though, are still waiting a few more long days, but either way, one thing that I always see people ask when a new RPG comes out is quite simply, how do I get stronger? How do I be better? How do I do it early, and how do I do it fast? So today we're going to go over a number of particularly early tips that can change your entire experience, including a number of tips, some gameplay ideals to keep in mind, then of course a whole legendary spacesuit that you can get incredibly early on in your journey, as well as a free ship that is notably better than your own first ship. And we'll of course all be doing that with a minimum amount of spoilers possible. There will be chapters on this video as well, so you know where the different parts are, especially as the first couple of things will be less applicable if you have already made your character, unless you're planning to play again. First up then, let's talk about your background. You choose this in character creation. It tells you a bit of history about yourself if you want to use it for roleplay. There are a ton of options, and the big thing here power-wise is that each background comes with 3 skills associated with them. What this is then is essentially your first 3 skill points that you get for free at the start of the game, but they must be spent on one of these pre-arranged presets of skills. There is no straight up answer to which is the best one, because it depends on how you want to play within this game. You may want to go gangster if you like the sound of punching people or shotguns, or Ronin if you like the sound of blades and stealth. There is no wrong answer, just make sure that you spend a minute or two here picking the one that sounds the most engaging to you to build around, as these are 3 skill points, and of course you can make whatever you want eventually, but this is going to define your first few hours of play. Second up then, we have traits. This again is on character creation, but it is arguably even more important than the last one. These are the special aspects of your character that can change your gameplay experience, either by literally messing with some of your stats, or by opening new dialogue options. Like the last choice, you want to have a good look in here and make an informed choice rather than just pushing it aside and moving on. A personal favorite of mine is Adoring Fan, which just straight up gives you an extra crew member really early in the game who constantly says nice things to you and gives you things sometimes too. Just a nice friend who is maybe also a stalker, but he gives you gifts. Third up then, let's talk briefly about the skill tree that the game uses. Aside from the free points that you get from your background and creation, every time you level you get a skill point. There is no respec within the game. You can't remove your skill points and then reapply them, so you are locked into the choices that you make. But there is also no level cap within the game, so if you are willing to grind, you can essentially play the game however you want, all in one character eventually, just by leveling literally everything. That said, your early choices matter a lot more than your later ones as far as getting value out of them, at least, as poor choices early can make you feel a little bit stuck. You always want one of the choices from the first row of combat. Just pick whatever sounds fun to you early on and boost it up a bit. That'll define your general playstyle early on. This, however, is mostly just a nice statistical bonus, and this tree is full of them, but there are also some full-on game systems that are just unusable unless you get the related skill. For example, jetpacks, or boost packs as they're called in the game. These let you fly around, do some really fun, stylish stuff, just basically extra jumps. You can do whatever you want with them. It's a movement traversal tool. You can use it in combat, you can use it for exploration. They're fantastic. But even if you get a boost capable pack, which are honestly pretty easy to find, you cannot actually access this mechanic at all unless you have the boost pack training skill from the tech tree. Alternatively, as well, there's also the theft skill in the social tree that unlocks the pickpocketing system, which is another full-on game system that you simply could not access without finding and unlocking this skill. The final rank of the skill, by the way, literally lets you pickpocket holstered weapons off of enemies, which is absolutely ridiculously good, and you can go even an entire playthrough without even ever pickpocketing in the first place, just because you didn't even know it was there. So as a whole, this is just saying check out these specific skills, of course, but also look properly into the tree as a whole. See what there is and actually make a plan for what you want to do and what you want to be. Make sure you aren't missing something absolutely game-changing, and work towards the playstyle that intrigues you the most. After that, we're going to talk about more base gameplay mechanics, and I want to really just hammer the nail home here that you need to put some thought into how you treat gunplay in Starfield. If you want to be better at the game as fast as possible, there are some core mechanics that you need to be acutely aware of. Accuracy is important, yeah? Of course, with a game where you have ammunition as a concern, you want to be as efficient as possible while dealing damage, but at the same time you want to end fights faster so you lose less health and thus spend less resources. So what are the main things to think about with the gunplay? Well, first up is movement and positioning. In Starfield, you can see your crosshair gets bigger as you move around if you're playing in first person, and that's because any movement at at all within the game decreases your accuracy. You are most accurate when standing still, and you are most stable when crouching. Accuracy decreases with longer sprays on automatic weapons, in other words, the longer that you hold the button down, but crouching reduces that effect. That leads us to the second point of Gunplay, which is your new best friend, leaning. The lean mechanic. Lean, lean, lean all the time. The game always wants you to lean. Unless you are playing a balls-to-the-wall melee and shotgun build, your gameplay when done correctly should be full of crouching behind objects or walls, then leaning around corners by aiming down sights to fire in bursts. This is simply how the game is built mechanically, and it is the clear optimal way to engage with the gunplay that they've given us. With movement reducing your accuracy and crouching raising your stability, this is just the perfect place to be. On top of that, defensively speaking, you should only be damageable when you are actively leaning out from cover, not when you're reloading around the corner, and even when you are leaning, you can control your angle very specifically to show as little of your body as possible, thus making yourself a smaller target, meaning you just take less damage anyways. Basically, if you're in a gunfight and it isn't just basically punching distance, you should be taking advantage of the lean mechanic as much as physically possible. It is so strong, and it is what makes you strong in this game. All that said, then let's talk about the stars of the show today, which are the legendary spacesuit combo and ship that you can get for free quite early on within the game. Basically, these two are found as part of the same side quest. It is a level 30 side quest, but before you start getting worried about that, I did it at level 5, and it wasn't even all that hard by any means, so you can definitely do it as well. The way that you unlock this side quest then is by farming a specific enemy type called the Spacers. Your first encounter with these will be during the Old Neighborhood main story quest, which is like the second main story quest. During this, you will be sent to a station that you have to dock at while searching for someone, and when you get here, you want to save your game. Work your way through the station and kill all the Spacer enemies here and loot them, and with what seems to be a relatively high drop rate, you can see this item here that dropped on them called Secret Outpost. I mean, come on, how could you miss this? Well, you could miss it if you don't loot everything that you walk past. And bonus tip here, loot everything you walk past. You don't need to take everything that they have, but at least look and see if it's worth picking up. After picking up this very obvious data pad called Secret Outpost, go to your notes in your inventory and read it to start a quest called Mantis, which gives you the coordinates of the aforementioned Secret Outpost. From your ship, you can grab jump over to there, but because it is in a level 30 area, you won't have the route unlocked because you've not been there before. We solve this by using the quest to look at the route that it wants you to take and just jumping one system at a time to actually get there. You won't encounter any problems along the way. It just means that you have to do it in like 5 jumps instead of just 1, but once you get there, look at the planet to find the Secret Outpost landing location and go down. As soon as you land, there will be combat. Things will want to fight you right off the bat. Basically, you're just fighting your way into the facility and then through the facility. Loot the bodies as you kill enemies to get audio tapes if you want the lore of the situation, and while this is a level 30 area, there are only a handful of level 30 enemies in it. The majority of them are around level 8 to 12, which is totally manageable even early levels. As you progress, you will eventually reach a room with a non-hostile NPC. Do what you want with them, it's your choice, but in the next room there is a puzzle. This room has letters on the floor, and if you step on the wrong one at any point, it will activate laser turrets. You are trying to spell a word, and the word here is Tyrannus, in reference to the audio tapes that you can find within the outpost as well. So just step on the right tiles here, spell the word correctly as I've got it shown on screen, and you will get to the other side. In through here, there are more enemies, but follow the objective until you enter the large chamber. Take a left to enter the more personal area, and you will find this lovely display case containing the full Mantis Legendary Spacesuit set, which not only looks incredible, but comes with a ton of bonuses as well. Check out the rest of this room too. There are some randomly rolled chests around, but even these set location pieces of gear like the legendary suit are randomly rolled. The actual bonuses on the equipment itself is random. The only thing that's guaranteed is the way that they look and the fact that they're legendary, which means that they have 3 effects per piece, so your effects will not match mine. That said, if you are really looking for power and are willing to do save game shenanigans, this means you can save the game before you actually get to the suit, then just reload the save on repeat until the effects that randomly roll on the items when you pick them up are ones that actually make you happy. After you've cleared this room, then simply go to the objective marker and pull the lever, then you can cross back over the main room to the elevator that is marked once again that lets you leave the outpost. Directly up the hill from where you come out, you will find your brand new ship, the Razor Leaf. This is pretty much just a pure upgrade from your first basic ship, and as it used to belong to someone else, it has some gear on it for you to loot too, including a weapons bay up top with a chance at a nice little bonus cherry on top of it all. And that's it then, everyone. Some tips for increasing your power and knowledge, which is power, super early on within Starfield, as well as the location of an early accessible full-on legendary spacesuit set and a free ship that's pretty solid in its own right too. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you out on your continued journey through the game, and make sure to leave any tips of your own that you've got for other people in the comments for your fellow captains. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.